Hello everyone, welcome to a brand spanking new episode of Brandt's Corner, where the points do matter. I've been inspired by Freddie Gibbs to make a new change in my life. You see, Freddie has made his most acclaimed albums working with Madlib, the producer behind such works as Mad Villainy or Quasimodo. But this year he went back to working with someone who isn't as legendary, the Alchemist. And together they made one of the most critically acclaimed hip-hop albums of the year so far, Alfredo. So if Freddie Gibbs can change himself, change his style, change his producers, enough to make something on par with the legendary duo of Freddie Gibbs and Madlib, then maybe it's time I really find myself too.
Oh boy, I wonder where I'm hiding. Some old homeless guy gave me a map to find myself.
I mean, all I had to do to get it really was, well, my mouth tastes like mayonnaise.
Well, while I'm on this journey to truly find myself, like Freddie Gibbs has found himself with The Alchemist, I prepared the review for you all to watch, but I'll make sure to keep you updated on my journey.
The intro track, 1985, starts with these long, sustained guitar notes, with Gibbs' rapping contrasting it, being more fast-paced. Honestly, it feels kinda dull. The rapping isn't anything special, and the beat can get very irritating after a little while. I mean, it's a fine song, and it's better than most hip-hop coming out this year, but still. The rapping feels a bit awkward and stilted on the beat. It feels like they don't really gel well together at all, like those shitty mashups you used to find on YouTube.
Hit a bitch with that extended clip with that revolver shit, it serve the same purpose. Niggas beaming up the Scottie in my crack lobby, I can smell the cane burning.
Nah, I done grew around some people living their life in bottles. Granddaddy had the golden flask, backstroke every day in Chicago. Some people like the way it feels, some people want to kill their sorrow.
A problem I have with Gibbs' rapping is that he can mumble a lot, and sometimes he can be borderline incoherent. Something else that he does that bothers me is that a lot of the times it feels like he's rapping faster than the beat. Or at the very least, he's trying to cram in too many syllables in each sentence, and they just feel kind of rushed. That seems to be a reoccurring issue with his vocals, being somewhat off-beat, and not in a really fun way, in like a please get back on the beat kind of way.
Joe Pesci pushing product, you niggas is sweeter than Joe Exotic. On the run like a soda, so fuck the police is a nigga be chillin' in the Habana.
I only bring it up now because it's most prominent on this track. Not a bad track, but I don't know if it should be the opener or not. It's a bit dull and a bit stiff. This one works a bit more, with the production lending itself to Gibbs, but more importantly, Gibbs lending himself to the production. What I mean by that is that the highlight throughout the album is the production. The production is the best part of the album, and it's whether or not Gibbs is rapping well on top of it that a lot of these beats work. If Gibbs is rapping fast on a slow song, it tends to be a bit jarring, but if he's rapping fast on a fast song, well then it works. So when Gibbs lends himself more to the production, it works a lot better than the production trying to catch up to whatever Gibbs is doing. And on this song, he really does lend himself beautifully to the production, giving one of the best tracks. Freddie kind of feels like second pick here. The real star of the show is The Alchemist. So whenever Freddie is working to exemplify the beat with his vocals, it works a lot better than him trying to freestyle or trying to do whatever he wants on different beats, because then it just feels kind of jarring and kind of amateurish. That being said, it's an alright track. I mean, there's nothing I really dislike about it, but there's not much I can say I really like about it either. The rapping is better than 1985, and the beat is too, with these little melancholic piano notes making up the main melody. The biggest problem with this song is Gibbs' breathy vocals that he does at certain points. It feels just kind of irritating, and I don't like the sound of someone being breathy on a hip-hop verse. It just doesn't really sound right to me.
1, 2, mic checker. Still back that blood out of Sabana, like I pray to Mecca.
I do really like the outro though, with these drowny light synths coming up to the forefront, as soft notes permeate to the top and vocal samples are spliced here and there. Pretty good song, great outro. Okay, I can't believe I'm complimenting Rick Ross, but here we are. The soft production on Scottie Bean reminds me of a lot of the beats on Nas's Illmatic. The piano works beautifully in creating this atmosphere that's just soothing. The verses are really great too. There's your typical sex and bragging that you're used to in hip-hop by now, or at least you should be. But stuff like the first verse about police brutality can be really chilling, especially knowing what we know now. This was before all the riots and protests against police brutality. Anyways, remember when I said, okay, I can't believe I'm complimenting Rick Ross, but here we are. Yeah, that was a lie. He sucks. Rick Ross always sounds like he's out of breath. Does anybody notice that, or is that just me?
You need a dictionary when you write your raps, until the penitentiary just for 100 seconds. I had a vision back when I was fishing for a bass.
I just fucking hate Rick Ross's performance in almost every song that he's in. He's just so lifeless, like the embodiment of death. Regardless of Rick Ross, this track is definitely a step up, with better production and Freddie Gibbs sounding less mumbly.
Well, apparently there's a hideous monster in these woods, but I made sure to come prepared with my Lucky Nest baseball bat. What the fuck is that? Oh my god, it's the monster! Oh my god, it's even more hideous than I thought!
I knew I needed a haircut, but I didn't think it was that bad.
I shall slay thee, wild beast!
Wow, that's pretty bigoted of you. I'll have you know, my culture is deep and rich.
Wait, you aren't evil?
I'm just trying to live a normal life, but because of my horrible deformities, people like you always just discriminate.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. What's your culture?
Me and Rick Rossi.
Well, luckily that disgusting threat has been annihilated. Let's hope there's not any more.
Number one is you can never rap. Fucking with you suckers set a nigga back.
This one is the shortest track on the album, tied with the first and last one, and I really wish it wasn't, because it's really good. It feels very dreamy and relaxing, and Gibbs, while he can still feel a bit stilted, really amplifies the soothing and relaxing vibe that the song is going for. The soulful beat sounds very elegant, while Freddie contrasts that with his more growly, deep voice.
Came through in the clean SS bucket seats with the beam on the tech. Got a thing, Wu-Tang, protect your neck, bitch.
There's really not much else to say besides that I really like it. The keyboards and pianos and organs and all that all sound great on this album, and especially on this track. I am a notorious piano fan. I'm legally required to tell everyone in my neighborhood. The beat for Frank Lucas might be the best on the whole album. The dungeony, eerie synths give off a more disturbing and morbid vibe, rather than the soothing and relaxing one that's been present for the majority of the record. Freddie also works the best on this track so far, matching the beat and the tempo perfectly, and his style really brings out the song and what it's trying to go for. On this track, he really exemplifies what I mean when I say that he can sometimes go off the beat. In this song, he doesn't, and it sounds a lot better than in the other tracks when he does. And when he does tend to go off the beat, when he tends to go faster than it, because it's never slower, it's always faster. When he tends to go faster than the beat, it feels very disjointed and jarring. But this track is evidence that given the right situation, given the right beat, Freddie Gibbs can really come out as a great rapper. The atmosphere created by this song is really outstanding. I feel like a gang member in the 90s. You know, capping fools, wiggity wiggity whack, yo. I've been given a court summon for, being too white. The feature is Benny the Butcher, and he goes fucking hard. Like, what a great feature. He just brings so much to this track. And it's one of the best moments.
Bury me with Reggie, let the feds tell it, apparently I'm acting. Gucci hoodie smell like kerosene and ashes. Don't get carried away, I've been up, and look how carefully I stack it.
Overall, one of the best tracks on the album, and one of the best hip-hop tracks of the entire year so far. Something to Rap About starts with a relaxing, jazzy guitar being the focus. Gibbs goes into really dark territory, talking about violence, crime, drugs. God Made Me Sell Crack so that I could have something to rap about is one of the best lyrics in the whole year. It's really fucking dark and twisted, but it all feels so interesting to hear and interesting to listen to and analyze, because it's a topic you don't really see covered in the way Gibbs does here. Typically, when drugs and violence and crime are all brought up, it's more of a bragging way, but here, it's more of a tragic take on it, saying how people can mainly do this stuff so that they can have a hip-hop career. People are going into violence, crime, drugs, so that they can have something to rap about, so they can be one of the cool kids. It's a really interesting take on an old subject matter, and I really like that. Freddie's dark lyrics makes the whole song sound kind of unnerving and unsettling, as it's a typical rap beat, but paired with this, the soothing, dreamy instrumentation feels kind of on edge, like something's not right, and something isn't right, as exemplified in the lyrics. Tyler, the Creator, is featured on this song, and he just fucking kills it. In a good way, in a good way. I mean in a good way. His growly, deep, scruffy voice perfectly evolves the contrast that Gibbs already had with the beat, but Tyler takes it in a new direction. Instead of talking about what he had to do in order to become a successful hopper, Tyler talks more about how people are trying to latch onto him for his new stardom and wealth.
I keep my circle tight like tops. Nothing corn, no crops. You messy and get cleaned up with the mop.
The outro has the beat just kind of powering down like a simulation, which could go to show the simulated reality that a lot of hip-hoppers find themselves in, where Gibbs is saying, no, this is bad. You shouldn't be doing drugs, you shouldn't be doing violence, just so you can have something to rap about. It all comes full circle, doesn't it? Overall, one of the best tracks in the whole record. I really love this one. Baby Shit kind of feels like filler. Everything feels like it's already been done on the album so far. It's not a bad song, but it's just good. It's not great, it's not unique or anything. It's just a good song. The beat is kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. I have literally nothing to say on this song. Not a single goddamn thing. It's fine.
Look, if you look over there seems to be another adventurer. Hey, you, what's your name?
My name is Ross Ricketson.
That sounds kind of familiar.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, okay. Well, why are you here, Ross?
Well, a couple buddies told me that somewhere in these woods there's this piece of paper here that has Gullible on one side and Emma Watson's phone number on the other. I just had to see for myself.
She's, from that series, Harry Potter, right? She's Harry, right?
Well, I hope she shaved.
Well, I have this map, but I don't know if it'd be any use to you.
You know, that X is exactly what that piece of paper is supposed to be.
Boy, I sure hope somebody got fired over that blunder.
Babies and Fools returns to the more relaxed production. There's a keyboard in the forefront of the track, playing on a somewhat loungy tone, which I really like. I really like lounge music. I am the #1 Shibuya Kai fan, after all. There's also a thick, jazzy bass in the background and this just orgasmic saxophone.
Yeah. Can't try. I reminded him to a little something. Smoke a little something.
I like how it's not really a hook that's the main catch of the song. It's more of a 5-second loop they use in lieu of a hook, so that there's more verses, and the verses can be longer as well. Freddie is fine on it, but the real star of the show is Conway the Machine, who gives a very heartfelt verse about his kids, his community, and his friends and family. It's a very heartwarming message on an otherwise very dark and twisted album. The beat on this one is pretty good, with the jazzy guitar playing either short, fast notes or elongated, sustained ones, never in between. The guitar can hit a frequency that's kind of like a dog whistle for me, but it's only every so often, and it doesn't really get that irritating. Freddie, once again, is just kind of fine. This album has really proved to me that Freddie Gibbs is the most, yeah, he's okay, rapper ever. Sometimes he shines, but overall I wish a better, more interesting personality was on a lot of these beats instead of Gibbs. He's really good technically, but he's not really interesting, and I don't really see him as any different from any other gangsta rapper. Like, if he were in a rap supergroup, he would be the guy that everyone just kind of forgets. Overall, it's nothing special, just kind of an alright track. This is a great closer. It's fun, energetic, and a joy to listen to. The drums are significantly more intense than a lot of the other verses in the album, and the synths sound better here than they have on the entire record. Freddie Gibbs is actually pretty good here. When the beat gets a bit slower, he goes kind of off kilter and it's kind of jarring, but when the beat is fast, he really works well. Plus, there's a Kanye diss that's pretty hilarious.
Dixie's on, but I ain't never seen a Sunday service. Ate dinner with some Afghani gangsters and made a purchase.
I will say the bass probably could have been turned down in the mix, but that's really my only complaint here. Alfredo by Freddie Gibbs and the Alchemist is a pretty good hip-hop album with some killer moments, but is bogged down by some awkward performances. The production is really good throughout, but I feel like Freddie Gibbs doesn't really work with the beats that well. If Gibbs really wants to make a great album, a true masterpiece, he'll work with someone who can utilize his style best with more fast and harder beats, rather than soft, slow, relaxing ones. Alfredo by Freddie Gibbs and the Alchemist gets a strong 7 out of 10.
And so I says to the guy, "That's not my sister, that's a woman."
Oh my god, look! It's exactly like how it looks in the photo.
Oh, this isn't a woman's number. This is just Cardi B.
Oh, well, it took you fucking long enough. Oh my god, I finally found myself.
Oh, great. Hey, by the way, can I borrow some money?
Huh?
By the way, I'm fucking starving. Can we, like, stop at fast food and, like, can you, like, get me, like, a burger or something?
I mean, I picked up this burger for myself, but...
By the way, have you gained some weight? You're looking pretty fucking fat.
You eat literally the exact same amount that I do.
Man, your voice is super nasally. If I were you, I would never start a YouTube channel.
So, did you find yourself?
Yeah. Turns out I'm a fucking asshole.
Well, hey there, thanks for making it to the end of today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. This one was a ton of fun to make, so I hope you had as much fun watching it as I did making it. If you like me and you like what I do here, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and even hit that bell notification. Until then, I'm Brandt from esteemed YouTube channel Brandt's Corner.